I was just thinking about this quiet tension that I think every single person in sales feels at some point.
Oh, yeah. What kind of tension?
Well, it's that feeling when you are staring at your screen, right? You have this massive target for the month.
Right. The quota pressure.
Exactly. You have this huge quota, and you look over at the top rep in the office, and they have this massive expense account.
Oh, the unlimited credit card.
Yeah. They are taking clients to fancy dinners, playing golf, sending these huge gift baskets. And you just sit there with zero budget thinking, how on earth do I compete with that?
It is so real.
Yeah.
I mean, we are just trained to believe that whoever has the most money to spend on, like, flashy marketing and client dinners,
Yeah.
they just win right away.
Right. It feels like the math is rigged, like budget equals success. But I really want to pull that apart today because the deeper you look into this, and we are taking a really deep dive today into this exact idea, it seems like having a huge budget might actually be hurting your deals.
It sounds totally backwards, I know, but it is true.
I mean, how can having $0 to spend actually be an unfair advantage? It breaks the brain a little bit.
Well, it is because having no money forces a completely different approach.
Yeah.
Like, you can't rely on a lazy system. You have to build a human system.
Right.
And when you look at how human choices are actually made, the things that really drive a buyer to say yes don't cost a single dime. They're built on trust and timing and just pure creativity.
But it is so hard to trust that when your manager is breathing down your neck.
Oh, totally. It takes guts to step away from the polished brochures and just try something real. But to really get why a free, simple gesture can crush a $10,000 ad campaign, we have to kind of look under the hood of the buyer's brain.
Okay, let's go there because I am fascinated by the psychology of this. What is actually happening in a buyer's head when they get a pitch?
So at a basic level, the human brain is just a prediction machine.
A prediction machine, meaning it just guesses what happens next.
Exactly. It is always scanning the room, scanning the inbox, just looking for familiar patterns. Yeah. And the brain wants to save energy, right?
It is lazy.
Yeah, super lazy. So if it knows what is coming, it just flips over to autopilot.
Oh, I see. So it is like a biological spam filter.
That is the perfect way to say it. A biological spam filter. Think about when a buyer opens their email and sees this, like, super glossy message.
Oh, yeah, with a big corporate logo, fancy fonts, totally perfectly spaced.
Right. The brain spots that pattern in a split second and says, oh, I know this. This is a vendor trying to take my money.
So it filters it out before they even read the first word?
Yep. They delete it without a second thought. But, and this is the magic part, the moment you break that pattern.
By doing what? Like surprising them?
Exactly. When you introduce surprise, the brain can't use autopilot anymore. It has to wake up. It forces the person to actually pay attention.
Because it is new. It is an unknown.
Right. And that break in the pattern lights up the emotional center of the brain. You get this emotional spike, and that is what builds a memory.
Wow. And memory drives the choice.
Always.
Yeah.
Every decision we make is based on what we remember. If you add surprise to how you talk to a buyer, you skip the spam filter entirely. You land right in their main inbox, cognitively speaking.
That makes so much sense. It is like, think about getting a handwritten note in the mail versus a mass email from some big brand.
Oh, night and day.
Right. The mass email is just the expected pattern. Trash. But the handwritten note, that breaks the digital pattern. It shows real effort. You hold on to it. You put it in a box.
You feel it. And there's a second layer to this, too. It is not just the surprise. It is this human rule of giving back.
Like mutual giving.
Yeah, the urge to return a favor. When someone gives you something useful and they don't ask for a single thing in return, you feel this, like, gentle pull to help them out later.
See, I have to push back on that just a tiny bit.
Sure.
When you call it a gentle pull or a mental rule, it sounds a little bit like playing mind games. Like we are just hacking a buyer's brain to guilt them into taking a phone call.
I am so glad you brought that up because it's a vital point. And no, it is not a cheap trick. This is just how humans have survived for thousands of years.
By sharing things.
Exactly. Building safe groups, sharing food, sharing knowledge. When you truly help a prospect and you don't demand the meeting right that second, you are not playing a game.
You were just being a good neighbor.
You are proving that you are safe. You are showing that you add value to their world. It is just real connection.
I love that. It paints this really nice picture of, business as it should be. But, and here's the but feelings and social rules, they don't pay the rent.
No, they don't.
They don't pay commissions. We have to map this warm feeling over to the hard numbers. If our brains love this stuff, does it actually show up in the sales pipeline?
The numbers are actually wild. They show that building trust just crushes having a big budget. Every time.
Really? Like, how much better is it?
Well, if you look at how buyers talk to each other, word-of-mouth choices happen, like 4 times more often than choices driven by paid ads.
Wait, 4 times?
4 times. It is a completely different league, and it gets even better. When a customer comes to you because a friend sent them, their value over time is way higher, like 16% higher.
Because they already trust you.
Exactly.
Mhm.
They buy faster, they argue less about the price, and they stay with you for years. And in the business world, almost all the decision makers, like 70% or more, they trust advice from a peer over any fancy brochure you could ever print.
It is like 80% of people just want to hear from someone they know.
Right. It is massive.
But okay, if the data is this clear, if everyone knows that real trust is 4 times better than an ad, why on earth are sales teams still blowing millions of dollars on like shiny booths and digital ads?
Because it is easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Buying a glossy brochure just takes a credit card. It doesn't ask you to be brave or to listen deeply or to actually think about the buyer's life. It is just easy.
I see. It is a shortcut.
And here is the real secret. A polished ad just tells the buyer, hey, my company has money.
Right. Look at our budget.
But genuine personal help that tells the buyer, I know my stuff. It signals pure expertise. And today, the buyer has already Googled everything about your product anyway.
Oh, they know your pricing before you even say hello.
Exactly. So the only thing that actually cuts through all that noise is your deep knowledge. Budget signals budget. Helpfulness signals expertise.
Budget signals budget. Helpfulness signals expertise. Wow, that is the whole ball game right there. So how do we actually do this?
You want to talk tactics?
Yeah, let's get into the playbook. If I have $0, how do I get in the door?
So the first move is changing how you do cold outreach. You have to lead with learning, not pitching.
Right, an education-first approach.
Yes. When you do that, the chance of getting a reply goes up by 4 times compared to just listing your product features.
But what does that look like in the real world? Because, I talk to reps all the time who think they are educating, but they are really just doing a sneaky pitch.
Oh, the old Trojan horse pitch. Yeah, if you start by talking about your product, your chance of a reply drops by like 60%. It just kills the deal.
So what is the right way?
It is super specific. First, name a real problem they're dealing with. Second, share exactly one cool fact or insight about that problem. And third, make a very soft offer to share more.
Okay, let's workshop this, just to make it real.
So,
Say I sell network safety software, like tech security for shipping companies.
okay, good niche.
If I have a big budget, I might just blast a generic white paper to 10,000 people, right? How do I do it the $0 way?
Well, the $0 way takes thought. You don't send a mass blast. You set up a news alert for a specific shipping port that your prospect uses.
Okay.
And when you see a news story about a new weak spot at that port, you send them a really short email. 2 sentences.
Just 2.
Just 2. Hey, saw the news about the safety breach at the port. We noticed weak spots in that sector jumped by 40% this month. Happy to share a quick note on how others are fixing it, if that helps.
Wow. No, let's grab 15 minutes. No attached slide deck.
Nope. Just pure, helpful news. You give value first. That triggers the rule of giving back, and it proves you are the expert.
That is so clean. Okay, so that breaks the pattern, and you get the meeting. And let's say they sign, you win the deal.
Time to celebrate, right?
Right. But this human approach doesn't just end when the ink dries, and I feel like that is where most reps totally drop the ball.
Oh, completely. As soon as the deal closes, they just vanish. On to the next hunt.
Yeah. So what is the second tactic?
It is about getting referrals, but doing it in a very specific way. Within 30 days of the deal closing, you call them up.
Just a check-in call.
Yeah. You ask how the setup phase went, make sure they're happy, and then you ask one very exact question.
And let me guess, it is not, hey, do you know anyone else who wants to buy my stuff?
Oh, please never say that. No, you ask who else in your circle is fighting this exact same problem.
Ah. You keep the focus purely on the problem you just fixed for them.
Exactly. When you ask it that way, most happy clients, like over 70%, will gladly give you a name. But almost no one asks.
Why do you think that is? Why do we freeze up?
I think reps feel like they are being annoying, or they feel awkward asking for a favor right after getting paid.
But if we go back to the numbers, referred clients are worth 16% more over time.
Right.
So if you let that awkward silence stop you, you are literally leaving your best, easiest deals on the table.
It is a massive loss. Now, what about the people who don't buy right away? That brings us to the third piece of the puzzle, follow-up.
Oh, the dreaded follow-up.
That is where deals go to die. Look, most sales take 5 or more touches before a yes or no, but almost half of reps just give up after one try.
And the ones who do keep trying, I mean, I get these emails all the time, the whole just bubbling this to the top of your inbox email.
Oh, the worst.
It is so painful. It is like they are saying, I have absolutely nothing of value to add, but please look at me.
And it completely breaks the rule of adding value. The better way to follow up is to keep changing the format. Surprise the brain again.
How so?
1 week, you send a link to a good article. 2 weeks later, maybe you send a 30-second voice note. A month later, you introduce them to someone cool in your network.
You essentially become a curated news feed for them. You do all the hard reading so they don't have to.
I love that. A curated news feed. You build this wall of trust around the relationship. A rival with a huge ad budget can't cross it because you are doing the heavy lifting for the buyer's brain.
Okay, I am playing devil's advocate here.
Go for it.
I can hear someone listening right now saying, yeah, this sounds great if you sell software in a trendy city or if you have 20 years of contacts.
Right, the "it won't work for me" excuse.
Exactly. Does this actually work for like a brand new rep just out of school or an older rep in a super traditional industry?
It really does. Because surprise, mutual giving, and community,
Right.
those are just human traits. They apply to everyone.
Have you seen it work across the board?
Oh, absolutely. Think about a young rep. Let's say she is 20-something, first real sales job.
Zero budget, zero contacts.
Right. And she is up against massive rivals with huge budgets. She can't buy dinners, she can't go to fancy trade shows, so she just commits to being helpful.
What does she do?
Every single Monday, she picks just 10 people, 10 prospects. She reads the news, finds one really good fact that relates to their daily struggles, and she sends it to them.
2 sentences again.
2 sentences. No asking for a meeting. Nothing.
But how does sending one fact to 10 people actually win? Why not just blast 1,000 people with an automated sequence?
Because of that spam filter, the mass blast goes to the trash folder. Her tiny, thoughtful note lands right in front of their eyes.
Oh, right, because it is highly relevant.
Exactly. I knew a rep who did exactly this, and within a month and a half, just targeting 10 people a week, she got responses. It turned into actual calls, and she closed the biggest deal of her young career.
That completely ruins the whole viral myth, doesn't it? We all think you need 50,000 views on a post to matter, but she just needed 10 the right way.
It is all about deep relevance, not massive reach.
And what about the other end? The veteran rep.
Yeah, let's look at an older guy I worked with. Over 20 years in the field, selling heavy industry stuff, making factory parts.
Very traditional. Let me guess, his old cold call scripts just stopped working.
Totally dried up. Buyers just stopped picking up the phone. So instead of shouting louder, he changes his approach. He joins a local group for factory managers.
Did he set up a booth and hand out cards?
Nope. He didn't pitch a single thing. He just showed up, listened, and shared what he knew. He connected people. Oh, you need a guy for this. I know a guy.
He just became the local hub, a free resource.
Exactly. And within a few months, 3 huge prospects who had ghosted him for a year suddenly reached out.
Because they saw his real expertise in the room.
Right. And it led to one of the biggest contracts he ever signed. This human approach doesn't erase your experience. It just builds the stage so people can actually see it.
Okay, we have to inject a little dose of harsh reality here.
Let's do it.
If this costs absolutely nothing and it brings in massive deals, why isn't every single salesperson doing it? Like, what is the catch?
The catch is that it requires a lot of mental energy and patience. 2 things most reps are completely starved of.
Let's talk about the mental energy first. Yeah. Because traditional selling, just dialing the phone 100 times, you can do that fueled by sheer panic and bad coffee.
You can totally do it on autopilot.
Right.
But to do this human approach, to find that one perfect piece of news for a buyer, that takes real problem solving. It takes creativity.
And you can't be creative if you are burned out.
Exactly. If you are sleeping 4 hours a night, your brain's ability to spot patterns just drops off a cliff by like 40%.
Almost half your brain power is just gone.
Gone. And you need physical movement too. Just a quick walk outside boosts the brain chemicals that make you want to connect with people.
So the hidden cost of this free strategy is that you actually have to take care of yourself.
You do. You can't grind 14 hours a day, stare at a screen, and expect to have the spark to write a clever, insightful note. Your brain just won't do it.
That is a tough pill to swallow for the whole hustle culture crowd.
Yeah.
But what about the patience part? because trust takes time.
It takes a lot of time, usually around 90 days. You have to show up, add value, and expect nothing back for about 3 months before the deals really start flowing.
And that right there is the panic button.
Oh, I know.
I mean, if I tell my manager, hey, don't worry, I am building trust, it will pay off in 90 days, they are going to say, great, but your quote is due in 2 weeks.
Right. Where are the deals today?
Yes. How do you balance that long-term trust building with the target you have to hit right now?
You don't stop your normal sales process.
Mhm.
You just layer this on top.
Oh.
Say you have a deal in motion right now. You are presenting next week. You can use this human touch today. Send a quick, thoughtful note the night before the pitch.
Just a little moment of surprise.
Exactly. That small memory shifts how they view you, and it can help win a deal this month. But at the same time, you block off 30 minutes a day to plant seeds for the future.
So you harvest today, but plant for tomorrow.
Right. Because if you only ever hunt for the immediate deal, your pipeline is always going to be a roller coaster. High stress, then nothing.
The classic feast or famine.
But if you build trust, eventually the deals just start coming to you.
But people fake this, don't they? They try to game the trust part.
Oh, it is the worst habit in sales right now. People pretend to build a community, but it is just a trap.
Like joining a professional group online just to drop a link to your product and run away.
Yes. Buyers are so smart, they can smell a fake, helpful email from a mile away.
Yeah.
If you use it as a Trojan horse for a hard pitch, you ruin your name forever.
It has to be real. You actually have to care.
You really do.
This whole chat just totally changes how I view having a limited budget. It is not a ceiling that holds you down.
Not at all. It is a forcing function. It forces you to be great.
You don't have to outspend the other guys if you can just outcare them.
Exactly. Break the pattern. Be genuinely helpful. Share good news. It builds an advantage that no amount of money can buy.
Because the best moments in sales cost nothing, just your attention and your curiosity.
That is it.
Well, I want to leave everyone listening with a specific thought experiment as you go back to your desk.
Oh, I love these.
Imagine that tomorrow morning your boss completely freezes your expense account. Every paid ad, every marketing tool just turned off.
Scary.
Very scary. But based on what we just talked about, what is the one piece of free, highly relevant news you could send your top 10 prospects today? Something that would make them actually want to call you back.
That is a brilliant question.
And the real kicker is, if you have that useful insight, why aren't you sending it to them right now, even while you still have the budget?
That is the difference right there. That is what separates the order takers from the true pros.
It really changes everything.
These thoughts, these questions, they don't have to stop here. Sales Geeks has many more podcasts and videos just like this one. Subscribe to the channel and explore other episodes. They all flow the same honest way. If this podcast felt genuinely useful to you, share it with even one person in your life. That one share can bring a real change in someone's life. And it helps Sales Geeks reach more people who truly need this. If this brought you real value, look for the join button right next to the Sales Geeks logo below this video. Click it and become a member of the Sales Support Circle. Your support helps honest sales awareness reach thousands who are silently struggling. Sales Geeks moves forward because of you. Thank you so much from the heart for being here.